Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit the notification bell, get all the updates. We're set for today's video. So it's the first, if you didn't see last week's video, it's the first off of my Mount Rushmore Beers International Edition, where I did not include any from the United States, and decided to review all 4 of the beers I picked for that video this week. So this is the first one I'm posting. The End of the World, La Fin du Monde. It's a triple, 9% ABV, ale brewed with spices, bottle re-fermented. Best before, let's see, June 27th, 2026. So I don't know how, like, into the future, if that's like a year ago, or if this is super fresh. Like this year, they do 2 years, 3 years, I don't know. It's out of Canada. 19 IBU, if you're wondering. I actually didn't even think about that. But yeah, let's get into it. It's one of my favorite beers. Of course, he made the Mount Rushmore. I guess that goes without saying. But it also is definitely one of the beers that falls under the category for me of beer that you love, and a style really, that you love, that you don't drink a lot of, and that's super lame. So, I won't totally recap that video. Is this a twist off? Oh, I guess it's a twist off. What was I going to say? Sorry, I didn't anticipate this being a twist off. Again, I haven't had this beer in a long time. Proper Glassworks, I loved this beer so much that when I saw that they were doing like whatever it was, a 4-pack in the glass or whatever, I made sure I bought one. But anyway, what was I going to say? I don't know. Oof. Some bubbles at the bottom. Let's just pretend they're not there. So, arguably my gateway beer into craft beer was Blue Moon, and not that this is the same style even, but like it kind of reminds me of that color, that like burnt orange in the center, and then as it like gets where the glass gets thinner, so the liquid's like thinner, it's just more regular orange into yellow even. Definitely hazy and all that, little over a finger ahead. It's like that bone white, pretty compact bubbles. Definitely looks like a Belgian style beer. If I was doing this blind, there are a couple other styles you could, think this was based on how it looks. But definitely looks how a Tripel should look. And man, I don't think I've ever reviewed this on the channel. I should check. But man, I can only smell it. It smells so good. I'm so mad at myself. It's definitely one of those videos where I'm just mad at myself because it's a beer I know I like. Haven't had in a long time. Let's get into that aroma. Belgian-y, those fruity esters coming through for sure. A little bit of minerality. Not full-on Flintstone vitamins, but like trending that way. Not super orchardy, but a little bit of orchard fruit interwoven with just what you would call fruity esters. It's not sulfur. It's tied to that mineral. It's in the realm of minerality, almost like chalky. Like it has that kind of a thing. If you could take the sugar out of orange marmalade, it has that aroma as well. It took me a sec to figure out how the orange was coming through, and that's what it is. It's the most accurate way I can say that. But yeah, definitely like this Belgian-y thing. It doesn't quite get to a bubblegum yeasty thing, but like I was saying earlier, about a different note, it's like on the path towards that. It's trending towards that, I think is the term I use. Sometimes I use the path towards. Maybe I'm being too hypercritical of myself. It's because I'm so excited to drink this. I feel like I'm tripping over words a little bit more, talking a little faster than normal, all that stuff. I apologize if this is not making for the best review, and I'm also wondering if the other videos are going to be similar, or because those beers I've had more recently. Well, not the one that I'm going to be doing soon, but anyway. I'm just really excited. Let's get into the glass. Cheers, everyone. What I love about this style, and this beer has it, is, as someone who loves Belgian beers, Belgian style beers, it scratches that itch of just like that yeast. I don't want to say generic Belgianiness, like that really doesn't that country's beer production and a lot of breweries elsewhere that really do justice to it. But like just that yeast, I guess. I love the Belgian yeast and what that provides. And I know there's not just one Belgian yeast. But like the yeasty qualities you get from most Belgian style and inspired beers, it's so specific. It's so awesome. Like I said, the aroma, it doesn't go full bubblegum or anything, but like it's on the path towards that. So you get that. As someone who loves Belgian beers, you get that. Tripels can be hoppy bittered, different levels from what I've had. So like as someone who loves IPAs, for example, you get like, this is not particularly bitter, but you can get like a little, you can kind of like scratch that itch a little bit. So you get like a little bit, it's like the Belgian pale ale thing. Like it kind of made sense. Let's amp up that aspect of a Belgian style beer and see if it's good or not. So like it gets that a little bit. For 9%, you don't taste the alcohol. At least I don't in this. Any more than like, yeah, this is a beer that has alcohol like it should because it's a beer. Nothing against non-alcoholic beers. It's got some fruity elements, got a little bit of that orange, like I was saying, in the aroma. Orchard fruit without being too orchardy, a little bit of like the fruity ester. So like it hits this like fruity note that you like in different styles of beer. Doesn't hit every fruit, obviously. Doesn't hit every fruit that beers can make you think you're enjoying, can trick your brain into thinking it's like that fruit. But there's enough that like if you like the taste of a lot of fruits, this has that in it. Has nice carbonation, mouthfeel, things like that. It checks so many boxes for things I like in beer, and I think a lot of other people like in beer, in one style, in one beer, and it's just, it cannot be overstated how special of a style this is and how dangerous of a style this is because of the ABV and how drinkable they are. A little bit of compounding bitterness, which I appreciate. That creaminess is so awesome. There's sweet elements. It's still a relatively dry beer. Honey. It's been a while since I've had honey, but like it's kind of reminded me of honey. Some of how the sweetness is coming through, versus like an agave nectar or something, or just straight sugar. It's not molasses-y. It's not caramel. So like honey's the closest thing I can think of. It's pretty close to that. The spices, I'm wondering if it's things like coriander and stuff that coriander seeds can contribute to an orange thing in my experience. Maybe there's even orange peel in it. I brought up Blue Moon initially, like that idea of, again, these are not the same style, but how sometimes citrus can work well in some of these Belgian inspired styles or Belgian styles, whether it's a Belgian brewery or not. Getting really hung up on that. So good. It's one of those, I almost got a 4-pack of it because I knew I liked this beer so much that like when I had one I was gonna be like, man, I want more. And if it wasn't 9%, you guys know my drinking habits, basically one beer a day. So it's not too often I have a second beer, or maybe my wife and I split a couple IPAs or something, or have the day off or whatever. It's pretty rare. So like I'm like, but if I'm reaching for a second beer, or it's a day that I'm drinking a beer that I'm not reviewing, I probably want a lower ABV beer. That's why I didn't grab a 4-pack. I say all that to say this. Yeah, I regret not getting a 4-pack. I just bought the one bottle because this is really, really tasty. Because these beers will be on my were on my Mount Rushmore International, I'm trying to keep them not just love letters to these beers and do proper reviews. So I hope this one was somewhere in the middle of a love letter and a beer review. In some ways, I feel like I was all over the place. In some ways, I feel like I did nail what I was trying to accomplish with just giving flowers to these beers that I think deserve them. Have you had this one before? What are your thoughts on Tripels in general? Do you pronounce them Tripel or Triple? Does it sound pretentious to say Tripel? Anything, everything? Comment section below. Let's get a conversation going. Once you're done doing that, make sure you check me out on Instagram and Untapped. It's No Hype Beer Reviews about those places. Please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, imbibe. Cheers, everyone.